Sixers have had a hell of a week. Within the same week, they've lost to the Miami Heat in the Western Conference semifinals. Or was it Miami Heat? No, it was the Celtics, right? Celtics. I'm so sorry. Celtics in 7 games. Joel Embiid basically said that he doesn't have any teammates. They fired Doc Rivers unceremoniously, although I'm not surprised. And then James Harden has opted out of his player option, essentially making him a...
because Embiid doesn't have any other teammates.
No, he doesn't. By the way, Embiid, who was announced MVP and then within the same week was eliminated from the playoffs. So just a quick reminder. What do you think the Sixers do from here?
I mean, I was telling you this. I felt like if I were the Sixers, I would actually probably try and trade Embiid because he's obviously not a good leader. Like just blatantly saying, I don't have these teammates. Like it's okay to be like, when you're LeBron, you can be like, hey, we need some guys to hit some shots,
Yeah.
That's not calling everyone out. That's just saying we need guys to hit a few shots. What Embiid said was, James and I can't do this ourselves. We're the only ones who are scoring. And you basically called everyone out and was like, okay, dude. So to me, that's not great. That's not a leadership. Yeah, he could have won MVP. Hey, you could get a lot back for Joel Embiid. But it's been evident for a while now, Embiid completely dies in the playoffs. He is exhausted by the time the playoffs come, which is not good. So... I mean, I like Joel Embiid. I think he's a really great player. I would take him on the Lakers in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I'm the Sixers, James Harden's not coming back. You fired Doc Rivers. Maybe start over. I know that's a big controversy, and people are like, oh my God, you're going to get rid of a generational talent you're going to trade Joel Embiid. Yeah, because he doesn't like the team that he's on. So why keep him there when you're already getting rid of half of everyone else anyway? Yeah. Just get rid of him. Start over. Yes, I understand they're not going to get Victor Wembanyama, but you can make some trades to get some guys back. You can get some draft picks later on to rebuild this team because the Sixers, they have not proven that they can get past in the playoffs. Like they can get into the playoffs. They figured it out. Hey, we know how to get into the playoffs. They don't know what to do from there. And I do think that's on the coach, but I also do think it's on Joel Embiid. There's been a lot of times after series where we're like, Joel Embiid, like, he's not aggressive. And I honestly thought in this series against the Celtics, Joel Embiid had so many times where he should have just imposed his will in the post. And what did he do? He settled for a turnaround fadeaway jumper.
Yeah.
And it was like, whereas Jokic would have bodied the guy, gone into him with his shoulder, gone up for a hook shot, which is a much easier shot than a fadeaway jumper. So there's a lot of times where Embiid is settling versus just trying to, impose his will and say, you can't stop me, which will get him confidence, which will bring doubt into the other team, and eventually it will help your team. But he doesn't do that because he's not a team player. He's really only caring about himself. He wanted the MVP, And so he pushed so hard to get the MVP that now in the playoffs, he's gassed. And you can show me all his stats. Well, Joel Embiid, he literally is doing it all himself. Okay, then. Let him go. Like, what else are you going to do if you're the Sixers? Harden doesn't want to play with him. Ben Simmons didn't want to play with him. Now, Ben Simmons isn't what he was, but it doesn't seem like anyone wants to play with him. So trade him away, and maybe you actually might get some other guys coming to the Sixers.
I know who the Sixers will probably end up signing this offseason because since James Harden isn't coming back.
Who do you think?
Your favorite guy, Kyrie Irving.
Maybe. Hey,
I mean, to be honest, that would
not that bad.
No, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think that'd be a little bit more of an upgrade from James Harden because at least Kyrie Irving will show up and play. I mean, granted,
and Kyrie can score a little bit better now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know that there's been conflicting rumors too, and I think I kind of believe the fact that James Harden is wanting to go to somewhere competitive where he's like an offensive focal point. But honestly, I thought if the best opportunity for James Harden to really show his versatility as a player would have been to make Joel Embiid a winner, And that just didn't seem to happen. So now the question could be also, where's James Harden going? And I have a feeling too, and I really hope the Sixers don't do this, because Daryl Morey, for some reason, worships at the altar of Mike D'Antoni. I don't know why, but there's a rumor that D'Antoni could be the next head coach for the Sixers, and that might keep James Harden. But I don't think that would be great for Joel Embiid, because he can't run up and down the court, 82 games out of the season. And then the only team that makes sense where both Harden and D'Antoni go to would be somewhere else, because they're clearly not going to stay in Philadelphia. So I think the Sixers are a hot mess, man. I think that they need like a strong coach, like Monty. What is it? The coach that they just fired?
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams. I think he'd be a really good leader. Yeah. I mean, I really think that he could get Joel Embiid to be a lot tougher, because he tried doing it with DeAndre Ayton before Ayton kind of tuned him out. And also, too, the Suns are probably going to be an odd man out. And imagine if Chris Paul goes over to the Sixers. That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And then I think that they completely upgrade from there. But then, you have a lot more to deal with in terms of like salary cap and stuff like that. So
I know it's crazy to say trade Joel Embiid, but I'm kind of on the side of like, if you're showing me that you can't be a leader and you're supposed to be the leader, then I'm willing to just let you go, because I want guys who want to lead. And it doesn't seem like he wants to lead. It just seems like he wants to be the guy, and now he's the guy. Mm-hmm. And if he's not getting all the shots, he's just having an issue. And I was watching James Harden, and when he wasn't making his shots, he was creating things for other players. And so it's just kind of like, what are you hating about this team? Yeah. Like, you're just not being a dominant force like you should be, like you can be.
Yeah. He's playing like he's 6'1", not 7'1". That's the disappointing part. So